everyone, it's Ashley. So today's video is gonna be about college. So maybe some of you are thinking of going to college, haven't decided if you're going to college, are considering the cost of different colleges. There's a lot of different things to consider. So I'm gonna kind of run over some of those. So just to get started, in my last video, my intro video, I kind of mentioned that I had just graduated college. So it's January now. I graduated in December, so December 2019. It's about a month ago. So do have some experience. So I went to Edinboro University. It's in Pennsylvania. It's a smaller school. I got my Bachelor's of Science in Developmental Psychology, so with children, but the program at my school its goal was to go for, you could do anything with your psychology degree. So my diploma says developmental psychology, but I'm trained in like everything. Granted, it's a bachelor's, it's not like a master's or a PhD, but I have the basic knowledge to go forward with anything. So if I changed my mind and didn't want to work with kids, which is what developmental psychology is, I could go for clinical and work with older people. I don't want to say older people, adults. Anyway, so that's just a little bit about me. So let's talk about the application process. So when you apply, you're probably applying to maybe 5 different schools, 2 different schools, 1 school, hoping and praying that you get in. And most of these application processes for each of these different schools is probably going to be the same. You're going to need a transcript. You're going to need to write an essay, and you're probably going to have to pay an application fee, which sucks because sometimes you might not get into your school and you still paid the application fee. So, yeah. Your transcripts you can get from your school. Usually for my school, I think it was the guidance department, because your guidance counselor has a lot to do with the application process for colleges. Your essay, it just depends. Some schools require it, some schools don't. I know probably around half of mine. I applied to 5 different schools, I believe, at the time that I was applying to college. 5, I think it was, and only a couple didn't need an essay. And all those essay prompts are usually different. So you're gonna have to write 3 or 4 different essays because the prompts are different, and that's on purpose because they want to make sure that you're actually trying. Like sometimes like kids will try to like tiptoe around and like write the same essay or tweak it just the tiniest bit. Not wise, because sometimes you can slip up and be like, I want to go to Edinboro because, and you're applying to Akron University. Like, not a good idea. So just be careful if you do that. Also, you're gonna have to pick a major. For me, I knew what I wanted to do in high school, and I know that's pretty rare, and it happens or it doesn't. Like sometimes you know and sometimes you don't, and most don't, and I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. But so I knew right in high school, I'm like, I'm gonna go for psychology, and I'm gonna do this. And a lot of things for psychology, I'm trying not to say psychology because I know there's so many different majors out there, but this is just my personal experience. So I'm sorry if you're not interested in psychology and you're like, I'm bored. But what was I saying? Oh, psychology. But I just knew, like, that's what I wanted to do. And a lot of kids that go to college actually change their major to psychology, and I was one of the rare ones that actually was like, this is what I'm doing, I'm going to stick with it, I love it, which was great. But for most people, they don't know, or they pick one because they feel like all this pressure to pick one, and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like the courses, I don't like my professors, I don't like the chances I have of getting a job after college. So they can go on undeclared, or they switch from what they had. And both of those are okay, but I would say if you don't know what you want to do, don't just pick a random major. Go undeclared, because you have about 2 years to figure out what you want to do, because your first 2 years of college are going to be the general classes. Like, you're going to have to take a math, you're going to have to take a biology, you're going to have to take a psychology class, and that's why a lot of kids switch to psychology. But you're going to have your introductory level classes, so there really is no pressure right off the bat, no matter what your family tells you, no matter what your advisor tells you. And if you have an advisor that's telling you that you need to pick, you probably have a bad advisor. But there should be no pressure your first 2 years. Now, after your first 2 years and you're like, I still don't know what I want to do, that might be a sign that you need to reflect on, like, what you want to do. What else? So, touring your campuses. So before you apply, which I should have maybe mentioned this earlier, but before you apply to schools, you should probably tour. I did not tour any of the colleges that I applied to, and like, it turned out well for me, but I guess I kind of knew, because I applied to 3 schools that were really close to home. And by really close, I mean like within a half hour. So I knew what their campuses looked like. I knew what they had to offer me, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll commute. But I also applied to like 2 other schools that were not far away from home, a good distance away from home, and I had never been there, and I had never seen the campus. And I still applied there, and I actually ended up going to one of those that I never toured. But probably should tour. I didn't know what my dorm was going to look like. I didn't know what they had to offer for food. I didn't know what kind of clubs they had, which they bring up during tours. I didn't know anything about my school other than they had psychology and it was a good program and I was going to go there. So things to consider. Obviously the first thing is cost. Can you afford what they have, like what their tuition is? And that was a major factor with mine. The school I chose was out of state, but my out of state tuition really wasn't that much of a difference from some of the in-state tuitions that the places I applied to. And that was probably the ultimate factor. Another thing was distance from home. So the school that I ended up going to was about 2 hours away from home. So not so far that my family couldn't come to visit me, but also not so far that they weren't checking in on me all the time. And I don't want to say, like, that's not a bad thing. And, like, I wasn't, like, off, like, partying, like, yeah, like, let's, like, go. But, like, I don't know. Like, I wanted, like, some independence. And I felt that that was a good distance away from home. What else? I can't really think of any other things that I took into consideration at the time, but I don't know, that was a long time ago. So actually, like, doing the thing, like, going, move-in weekend. So, like, first, I think, is, like, orientation. So you go in, they introduce you to, what did they do during my orientation? We did a quick tour, so, like, they split us up into majors. I'm sure this varies from school to school also, I should add. But orientation, they like split us up into our majors. They took us around campus, showed us our building, because there's each department typically has their own building. I met with the department chair at the time. He gave us a quick like paper with all the courses they had, and I actually still have that paper because it came in handy. My orientation was a little weird because at my school you don't schedule the first semester of classes for yourself. Your advisor that you're assigned to actually does that. Luckily I had a good advisor and he put me in some pretty decent classes for my first semester, because your first semester you have to kind of adjust. I didn't necessarily have to because I had already taken college classes, but for those who haven't, like, it's like you need I don't want to say easier, but like you need lower level courses to get you through. move-in weekend, that's exciting. So move-in weekend, I moved in like a Friday, I believe, and there's all these people, craziness. They come together, like usually like clubs, organizations. They help you. It was me and my dad at the time in his pickup truck, and it was literally his whole truck was packed. Like the back of it was packed, the bed of it was packed. Like I couldn't fit anymore if I wanted to. And honestly, I really didn't take that much because I'm like, I'm gonna be coming home all the time, which I did. My first year, I came home a lot. But so they help you move in, and then you say your goodbyes. I think my dad cried. I'm not really sure because he's not really an emotional person, but he had a hard time because I'm the oldest. I'm not the baby, but like I'm the one that likes to be close to home. And yeah, so I went in. I kind of met my roommates before. We had texted, Facebook messaged. I don't remember, but so I had kind of known them, and then my school had some like kind of welcome activities, and it helped you like get to know your roommates a little bit better. And they had like a scavenger hunt, and so it was fun. And then of course there were people that went out and partied. I was like, I'm tired, so like I'm going to bed. My roommates and I don't think any of them had a went out. I don't know. And then what else did we do? I can't really remember. It was so long ago, so I'm like really trying hard to think back. What else? That's it for moving weekend, I think, for now. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll touch on it later if I can think of more things, but I can't really. Um, so let's move on. Another thing is like getting involved. So like once you get settled in and like get used to your classes, and you should really get involved on your campus. Like there's so many clubs. Like even for my tiny school, like we had a ton of clubs, different organizations, just to kind of get out there and make friends. And it's really important. And they say college is the best time of your life, and college is only the best time of your life if you make it the best time of your life. For me, I'm pretty shy and pretty introverted, and my first year I really struggled because I didn't I made friends, but like they were acquaintance friends. Like I was friendly with them, but they weren't my friends. And it was hard. It was really isolating, and I actually considered transferring because I just could not make friends. And it was just because I was shy. But I actually joined a sorority my second semester, my freshman year, and it actually really turned around for me. I'm not like pushing Greek life, and I wouldn't do that to anyone that wasn't comfortable, but it really did help me. And a lot of people say it's buying your friends, and no, it's not. Like I actually was friends with some of the, like I said, I had acquaintances, but I was actually friendly with some of the girls that I ended up joining the sorority with before, and it actually just made those bonds a little stronger. So I'm really thankful for it. And I could touch more on that if anyone would like to hear about Greek life down the line. And next is classes. You're there for your classes. That is why you're at college. That's what your parents are paying for. Unless you're like me, and I actually didn't have my parents pay for college. I knew before I went that it was probably gonna be me ultimately paying for my college. Now, I did have my dad co-sign on a loan for me because you're 18 and you probably don't have credit. And if you don't have credit, you can most likely not get approved for a loan. So I needed a co-signer, and my dad did co-sign for me. Now, I have graduated, and my student loans I will need to start paying on them 6 months after. And so that debt is on me. I will 100% pay those off. He will not have to pay a dime. But yeah, keep your eye on the prize for college. Your classes are so important, and as much as you may want to go out and party on the weekends, like, yeah, you should have a little bit of fun, and yeah, like, get out there and get to know other people, but ultimately, you're there for your classes, and I would highly recommend keeping that in mind because, a lot of people, their first semester, they're getting used to being away from their parents, they're enjoying their freedom, um, they're getting used to classes that, that are more advanced, faster paced, professors, cause some professors can be kind of odd, strict, weird. It's just a different environment to get used to. So ultimately, like, you really have to focus on it. But yeah, that's really all I have to say on college. If you guys have any questions or anything that you'd like to ask, I will definitely try my best to answer them, because college, like, it's stressful. It is so stressful, and like, people don't realize that. Like, when you're applying, literally, it was the worst time of my life. And now college, like, being in college is also stressful, but like, getting there and like not knowing like what your future is, like, I can understand it's so stressful. But yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. I will do my best to answer. And if you're new, please subscribe. Like, I feel like I have a lot to offer on this topic. Um, these are just the things that came to mind. But so thanks, you guys. I will hopefully talk to you soon. Bye.